Hey, future brides and wedding enthusiasts. Welcome back to Wedding Bells, where we dish out the best and sometimes worst wedding advice. Now, we all know planning a wedding can be exciting, but let's be real sometimes. We get caught up in trends that, well, don't exactly turn out like we thought. So today I'm giving you the lowdown on the 10 wedding trends real brides wish they hadn't followed. From crazy Pinterest fails to super uncomfortable choices, we've got a lot to talk about. And trust me, number 1, it's a big one. But first, before we dive in, you know the drill. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for all things weddings. Alright, let's jump right in. Trend 10. All white everything. Let's kick this off with number 10, the all white everything trend. We're talking white flowers, white decor, even white bridesmaid dresses. Now, don't get me wrong, white is classic, but when brides tried to go all white, things started blending in more than they thought. Bridesmaid dresses that look too similar to the brides? Yup. Guests blending into the background? You bet. Brides have said they wish they'd added a pop of color, something to break up all that blinding white. So, unless you're going for a snowstorm chic vibe, throw in a splash of color to avoid the monotony. Trend 9. Flower crown phase. Moving on to number 9, the flower crown phase. We all remember when flower crowns were everywhere, but after a few hours of dancing, hugging, and sweating, those once beautiful flowers started to droop and fast. Brides ended up with wilted, sad-looking crowns that just didn't hold up through the reception. One bride said hers fell apart halfway through the ceremony, so unless you're prepared for a backup headpiece, or are totally okay with a crown of dead flowers, you might want to reconsider this one. Trend 8. Naked cake. Alright, number 8, the naked cake trend. I know, they look gorgeous in photos. A rustic, barely frosted cake with layers peeking through, it's like something straight out of Pinterest heaven, right? But here's the catch. Naked cakes tend to dry out super quickly, and let me tell you, no one wants a slice of dry, crumbly cake at your wedding. A lot of brides have said they regretted going with this trend once they realized their cake tasted more like sandpaper than dessert. So if you're going to go naked, make sure your baker knows how to keep things moist and fresh. Trend 7. Long, dramatic trains. On to number 7, long, dramatic trains. Look, we all want to feel like royalty on our big day, but some brides have admitted that the mile-long train was more trouble than it was worth. It's gorgeous in pictures, sure. But what about when you're trying to navigate the dance floor, or make your way through a sea of guests? Not to mention, you need at least 3 people just to help carry it around. Brides have said that after a while, they wish they had gone for a shorter, more manageable train, or opted for a detachable one. Practicality, people. Trend 6. Over-the-top photo booth. Coming in at number 6, over-the-top photo booths. Okay, photo booths can be so much fun, but some brides went all out with elaborate backdrops, huge props, and rented setups that ended up being more of a hassle than they were worth. Not to mention, some guests were more interested in the booth than the actual party. Brides have said they regretted spending hundreds, sometimes thousands, on a booth that only a handful of guests even used. A simple, cute backdrop can do the trick without breaking the bank or distracting from the rest of the celebration. Trend 5. No kids allowed. Next up, number 5, the no kids allowed trend. Now, this one is super polarizing. Brides thought banning kids would create a more adult, elegant atmosphere, and sure, that works for some. But many brides regretted the decision after realizing how many guests couldn't attend because they couldn't find childcare. Some even ended up with half-empty reception halls. The lesson here? If you're going to go the no kids route, be prepared for some guests to RSVP no. And consider providing childcare options if you can. Trend 4. Unconventional venues. Alright, number 4, unconventional venues like barns and warehouses. Yes, they can look stunning with the right decor, but a lot of brides quickly learned that these venues often come with unexpected challenges like terrible acoustics, lack of air conditioning, or limited bathroom options. One bride said her charming barn wedding turned into a nightmare when the temperature dropped and there was no heating. Her guests were freezing, and she ended up wearing a jacket over her dress for most of the night. So if you're going for that rustic vibe, make sure you've got all your bases covered. Trend 3. DIY everything. Coming in at number 3, DIY everything. Now, don't get me wrong, DIY projects can be great for adding a personal touch to your wedding, but some brides took it a step too far. From handmade invitations to centerpieces, they found themselves knee-deep in crafts, glue guns, and frustration. One bride said she spent the night before her wedding assembling DIY favors, and looking back, she wished she had just hired someone or gone with store-bought options. Brides-to-be, don't let DIY stress you out. Save your energy for the big day. Trend 2: matching bridesmaid dresses. Number 2, matching bridesmaid dresses. It's a classic look, right? But many brides later admitted that forcing all their bridesmaids into the same style and color wasn't the best move. Everyone has different body types, skin tones, and personal styles. Some brides said their bridesmaids felt uncomfortable in dresses that didn't suit them, and it created unnecessary tension. Nowadays, a lot of brides are letting their girls choose their own dresses within a certain color palette, and honestly, it looks so much better in photos and makes everyone happy. Trend 1: the Instagram-worthy wedding. And finally, the big one, number 1, the Instagram-worthy wedding. Brides got so caught up in creating a picture-perfect day for social media that they forgot what really mattered: the actual wedding. Staging every moment for a photo, making sure everything was Instagrammable, and obsessing over how the day would look online left many brides feeling disconnected from their own celebration. They spent more time worrying about likes than living in the moment. So here's the advice: your wedding is for you and your partner. Don't let social media take over your special day. And there you have it, the 10 wedding trends real brides regret following. So, what do you think? Are there any trends here that you're rethinking now? Let me know in the comments, and remember, at the end of the day, your wedding is all about you and what makes you and your partner happy. Don't just follow trends for the sake of it, make your day as unique as your love story. If you found these tips helpful, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Wedding Bells for more wedding advice and inspiration. Until next time, happy planning.